Rise and shine, beautiful soul. So look, obviously we made the video about the lady who was trying to make the man feed all the children. When he just brings food for his children, she tries to justify it, throws the food on the ground, calling herself, exposing him, but is only exposing herself. Well, a lot of you guys thought it was a prank, and honestly, I did too. I just figured, hey, I'm gonna do the video. It's content. It will give me a chance to enlighten on the topic, so we'll just use it. Turns out, yo, it wasn't no prank. Yo, this is real. I mean, listen, yo. I know it happens, but I thought that specific situation was a prank because it was so obvious that she was wrong. The things she was saying about the food stamps and all that kind of stuff was just like, they're just trying to say all the wrong things here to try and like, you know, create a viral video. But yo, no, she meant everything she was saying, and this is her rebuttal as to why she did it. And guess what? It still don't make no sense. Yo, check this out.
So the whole world is basically bashing me right now because I'm the baby mama who was upset at her baby daddy because he only decided to give his child McDonald's and not the rest of my other 3 kids. I have 4 kids. You knew the situation when you dated me. Our child is the youngest child. So keep that in mind before y'all make me the villain. That means all my other kids knew him. He was buying the McDonald's when we were together. My kids have to go through a transition of our breakup as well. Like, yeah, me and you broke up, but my kids got to feel it too. So now my kids have to see only one of their siblings get McDonald's and not the rest of them. And they know it's coming from you because, of course, like me and you used to be together. They used to see you. You used to do it for them. But now you don't want to do that for them anymore. Like, to me, that's petty. That's petty. Like, it's not fair. Like, you're not finna give one child McDonald's and not all the other kids McDonald's. Like, I'm not going. And then on top of that, you mean to tell me you can dib and dab and want to do it sometimes, but yet you can't feed all my other kids McDonald's though? That's what you mean to tell me? Like, I'm not going for that. I'm going to stand on what I said, and I don't care what everybody else have to say about it. Y'all could judge me. Oh, well, I could be the villain, but I said what I said. Like, if you can't bring everybody McDonald's, then can't nobody have McDonald's then. Period.
So after she says the world is calling her a villain, she still is not willing to reconsider her conclusion. The world is telling her, yo, you wrong about this. And she makes another video to try and justify it, but only says the things that she made clear in the first video, except for one thing. They be still messing around, but we're going to deal with that. But what I want to do is we're going to start this video back. We're going to have a conversation with this lady, okay? Because I think some things really need to be made clear for her. Because again, she's still not putting pieces together, and she's still being led by what she comes up with, okay? Let's go.
So the whole world is basically bashing me right now because I'm the baby mama who was upset at her baby daddy because he only decided to give his child McDonald's and not the rest of my other 3 kids. I have 4 kids.
See, she had it covered. He only decided to give his child McDonald's when I have 3 other kids, yet you have 3 other kids.
Absolutely.
So there's already a misunderstanding there. What you need to understand is his child is his responsibility. If he were to do something for the other 3, that's a cherry on top, and that's worth you saying thank you so much for doing. You don't have to do that.
Absolutely.
What you are saying is that you have to do that. That's a huge problem. That's entitlement. Your children do not deserve anything from that man. He has no connection with them. Okay? Now, I know you're going to say that y'all was together before, but I'm going to wait until she says that part so I can rebuttal then. But here we go.
You knew the situation when you dated me. Our child is the youngest child.
Irrelevant. What you're saying, ma'am, is this. Your child is the youngest child, so therefore the father of that youngest child should take care of the 3 that came before it. What you're saying is you are alleviating responsibility of the baby fathers who had those children every time you have a new child. So the father of the first child, I guess you don't need anything from him, right? Because there's been a second child. And so the second child's father takes care of the first child. And the third child's father takes care of the second and the first child. And then the fourth child's father takes care of the third, the second, and the first, according to your logic. So basically, when you have another baby, then he'll be relieved. Because the last father has to take the burden of all the other children that you had before they came along. It's your children. Honestly, you should learn this first. Parents take care of their own children. So that means that you should go to the individual baby fathers of your children when those individual children need something. You cannot make any other baby's father responsible for the other children. If they help, it's a cherry on top. I've seen many people in the comments saying, yo, why can't he just do it? That's not the question. Asking who would it hurt? That's not the question. She's saying he's responsible for doing this. That's a big problem, yo.
Absolutely.
All right. Also, based on her logic, if the other baby daddies are active and they were to bring McDonald's, can they leave the youngest one out? Because technically, they didn't sign up for that because they never laid with her after that. You see how this works? See how it just doesn't make sense. If the first baby father comes through, he only has to take care of his one. And she would not obligate him the same way because she could not use the logic that he came after all of them and he knew what he was signing up for. What would she say to him? He don't have to. Her children would still sit around, watch the other child have McDonald's, still be the same affected by it because that's what's affecting them, not the blah, blah, blah behind it, right? But what would she tell him? What would she say? Because I know she's not going to say, you're responsible for every child that I have, even though you're no longer in my life. She could never say that because that would be too crazy, right? So she's using some backwards logic that you're responsible for every child that I had before you came in my life. And that sounds right to y'all. I did ask this in another video. I also wanted to know where does it end about the clothes and shoes? Does he have to buy for all of them if he buys for his son? Vacations, schools, anything like that? Does he have to do for all of them if he's going to take care of his? And also, ladies, if it were your man, would you require him to do the same thing? All of you ladies that agree. If it was your man, would you require your man to take care of his child and all of his children's siblings, even if they did not belong to him biologically, in order to be a man? Would you say a real man would take care of not only his children, but his siblings, the children's siblings? Do y'all do that? Do you say a real mother would not only take care of her child, but actually her children's siblings, even if she's not the mother? Do y'all say that? Do y'all make this requirement for each other? Because I'm trying to find out how this works, okay? I said before, I don't believe if it was flipped and it was a man doing this to a woman telling her she was reliable or responsible, I don't think anybody would be saying he was right. But because it's a woman, all of a sudden, she has a point. No way, Jose. You understand? And so we're being very, very biased, okay? But anyway, I wanted to make that point. Lacey's gonna say, bye.
Bye. Well, keep that in mind before y'all make me the villain. That means all my other kids knew him. He was buying the McDonald's when we were together.
You were together. So that means he was going the extra mile. He's doing what he's supposed to do if you guys are together. You look out for the children that's in the relationship too. If you're going to be with her, you are in a relationship with those children too. So you should start getting to know those children as y'all are working towards marriage potentially, right? Absolutely. So of course he would do those things then. But once you guys sever that relationship, he is no longer obligated to doing those things. Of course he's going to take care of his child. And y'all need to learn this, yo. Once y'all relationship breaks down, that man is going to want to take care of only his child. Now, imagine this. Imagine he has other children. You're with him. So there you go. You're looking out for his children. You're doing those things. You're nurturing his children. You're playing your role, stepmother type role for those children. Now y'all break up. Are you still going to take care of his children that's not yours? Probably not. And if you do it, that's great. It's a cherry on top. But now when he's moved on with his life, he now has to focus his funds on his new life. Who else he's building with, what he needs to take care of. But if he's with you, of course, he can invest in you along with your family because he's with you. When he's no longer with you, he's only going to want to invest into his child.
Absolutely.
And you can't make yourself entitled to that because he once did it when y'all were together. Let's go.
My kids have to go through a transition of our breakup as well. Like, yeah, me and you broke up, but my kids got to feel it too. So now,
unfortunately, your children do not have to go through a transition. He does not have to put in a 2-week notice with your children. The moment that you tell that man you're done with him, the moment he says he's done with you, it is what it is. It's not petty. It's a teaching moment for you, ma'am. You were supposed to explain to your child, we are not together anymore. He was doing those nice things for y'all because we were in a relationship. We decided to go our separate ways, which now makes him responsible for only his child. Now, you are supposed to try and figure out how you can mediate that feeling you have when he brings his children food. Not try and punish him for bringing his child food. So you're lost in the sauce. You're lost in your emotions and you don't have a clue what you're talking about. And you believe these things are worthy of bringing to him, exposing him with, but you haven't. That's why the world is telling you that you're wrong. Now, I said you weren't evil, so I'm not making you a villain. I'm saying that you lack information, meaning dumb. You're only thinking with emotions. You're not thinking logically at all. You're not thinking about what it'd be like for a father to bring his child McDonald's and have another person telling him he can't unless he brings it for other children who is not his, and then trashing that on the ground. You're not understanding this, and you don't really seem sad for your son that you threw that food on the ground. And regardless of what you wanted, you brought it to him all wrong. Like you went about this all toxic. That's why people call you a villain, because of how you handled it. Many women understand your plight, but how you went about it is very toxic. And here you are still with these foolish rationalizations, trying to create some type of entitlement for your children, all because you don't want to see your children go without getting this McDonald's. But you're going about it wrong still, family. You're still saying, I don't care what none of y'all even say. And I remember Kevin Samuel asking a question before he passed. Do women listen to anybody anymore? Do these modern toxic women listen to anybody? They won't listen to their mothers. They won't listen to their fathers. They definitely won't listen to men. They won't listen to other women. They won't listen to older elders that are women. So once you tell them the truth and try and enlighten them, they're still going to say no. Why? Because I have leverage, the child. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. I can create the world I want because I can dictate how you can see your child, and you're going to give me what I want or you won't see your child.
Absolutely.
Yo, it's wild.
My kids have to see only one of their siblings get McDonald's and not the rest of them. And they know it's coming from you because, of course, like me and you used to be together. They used to see you. You used to do it for them. But
unfortunately, your children have to see that other child get McDonald's unless you figure out a way to mediate that, okay? You could have had a conversation with him about that. Look, I know we broke up, but look, my children in here watching your son get this McDonald's, our son get this McDonald's. Now, they in here feeling bad by that, and I know you're just trying to love on your son. But is this something we can do to make sure they can eat some too? She's exempting herself from having any accountability in that exact situation. Why? Because she says her food stamps hadn't came yet. This means that she's okay. She's not the one. The fault is on the one who actually doing something, because he could just do more. Yo, it's crazy, man. And if you're treating somebody like that when you're in a relationship with them, you probably won't have a relationship with them long, because no one wants to perform for you their best, only for you to tell them they don't measure up according to your standard. That is unreal.
Absolutely.
He's a good man to everybody else, but to you, he's not a good man. He's not a good father. He can't seem to get your approval. That man will say, yo, you know what? I don't like how she sees me. I don't like how she sees me. I'm going to leave this woman alone, because who wants to hear that? Who wants that negative reinforcement all the time? You want someone to motivate you, not tell you that you're not a good parent when you're trying your best.
Absolutely.
Men go through this a lot because men have to make the money. And they move the goalpost on what it is to be a father. She says, you're not a good father because you're not taking care of my other 3 children. So she moved the goalpost on what it takes to be a good father. And then I saw in the comments a lady says, a real man would have bought that food for him and his other children, for his child and the other children. I said, a real woman would have prepared healthy food for her children and told that man to stop bringing that unhealthy McDonald's there. She would have said, leave that McDonald's at McDonald's. See how that works? Now, a real man would buy stuff for his kids and other kids. So they move the goalposts on what it means to be a father. And then they constantly shift the goalposts on what it means to be a man. And they think they can tell you what it means to be a man. So if you're not performing according to their criteria on what a man is, they can warden your child and create obstacles for you to see your child till you live up to their ridiculous standards they're making up. Real man, real father, good man. So they think they can tell you what a man is. Yo, it's crazy. When you have a child with that man, that's why it works. Men and women having sex creates babies. So when you have a child with that man, you were no longer able to dictate whether he was a man or not. You chose him. That's the father, whether you think he's a man or not. And that's the thing about it. You don't understand that. That's the father. So even if it was a boy you had this child with, if you laid down with him and had this child, you cannot tell him he's not a man or a father. He is the father, because father means biological connection. That's what makes him the father. You laid with him, yo. What's wrong with y'all?
Now you don't want to do that for them anymore. Like, to me, that's petty. That's petty. Like, it's not fair.
You don't want to do that anymore. And to her, that's petty. Let's say he has the money. Let's say that he left because obviously look at how she treats him, okay? Assuming they left off some argument, assuming it broke down because of how they can't get along, how she's acting here, why wouldn't that man walk out the door and say, I ain't doing nothing else for you? Why wouldn't he walk out the door and say, I'm only taking care of my child. I ain't doing nothing for somebody who acts entitled all the time and try to treat me like crap. Why would he do that? You keep saying, well, they ain't got nothing to do with it. You know, I'm the one treating him like crap. Not my kids, they're your kids. So if you treating him like crap, it means you don't see his value. So of course, you can take up the slack what he's doing for your children because you're treating him like shit anyway, right? So if you valued him, you wouldn't treat him like crap anyway. But now you're going to treat him like crap and expect him to still perform for you. Why? Why would he do that? For you and your children when you're treating him like crap. So you can call it petty. And even if you guys, were cordial in how y'all settled y'all differences. And he just said, you know what? She don't want to be with me. I ain't doing nothing else for her kids. So what if it is petty? He doesn't have to do that, ma'am. That's what you don't understand. He doesn't have to do that. So if he's doing that out of pettiness, leave it alone. You're the mother of those children. That's what you got to understand.
Yes.
Like, you're not finna give one child McDonald's and not all the other kids McDonald's. Like, I'm not going. And then on top of that, you mean to tell me you can dib and dab and want to do it sometimes, but yet you can't feed all my other kids McDonald's?
Now watch this. I'm going to give you that one. Me personally, as a man, if I'm sleeping with a woman, she can ask me for money. She can't use me for money. But I'm not going to tell her no if she needs something, because we obviously don't even have a relationship. So I am going to, I don't want to use the word compensate, but you are understanding that she's providing something for you, and you're going to make her life a little easier as well. So if he's sleeping with her, that's a little different, but it's still a problem here. The major problem is you're still sleeping with somebody that you're not in a relationship with. Why are you still sleeping with him and you don't like how he's acting? Why are you doing that?
And
because if you have another child with him, right, and you call him not a good father, and you're still laying down with him.
He is not a good father, straight out of your own mouth.
And did you negotiate that? Did you say, look, if we still messing around and stuff, can you still take care of the kids sometimes? Did you negotiate that? Or are you just saying he should do it because you're doing that? See, and if you don't understand this, this is you not knowing your value. You're just giving him your body. Just giving it to him. And then he's not performing for what you want him to do, and you're still giving him your body. Yo, you don't understand how things work, obviously. Which is probably why you got 4 children, not even trying to bash on you. But you still sleeping with somebody who you right now act like you don't like.
Absolutely.
Trying to publicly humiliate this man, and you still sleeping with him?
Absolutely.
Y'all broke up, y'all don't have a relationship no more, and you still giving your body to him. This is the reason a lot of men fear baby mamas. She can hate her baby daddy and will still sleep with this dude. Yo, he wants exclusivity with you. You already have other children. He already don't like that. Now he's going to take you in and take care of your children. But he still probably don't have exclusivity with you, because you're still going to be some kind of way connected to your baby daddies. You ain't even moved on. Yo, that is crazy. Why are you still sleeping with somebody who you not with? Y'all got to stop doing it. You shouldn't even be doing it if you're not married, because this means you don't have a connection with that man. And you're going to deliver your child into a broken home. No marriage, no negotiation with that man. You should close your body up until you get that from that man. I ain't talking about literal marriage paperwork. I'm saying an actual commitment from that man that he will take care of whatever responsibility comes from y'all sleeping together. Yeah, you strapped up. Yeah, you on birth control. But if that don't work, yo, what you gonna do? Because I ain't getting no abortion. I'm gonna raise my children. What you gonna do? At that moment, he has a choice. Y'all don't do none of that. Y'all don't try to even figure out what this man is like. Yo, if we are together and we have a baby, if the relationship ends, how do you believe co-parenting should work? Y'all should have these type of conversations, yo. But all y'all want to do is have sex. That's all y'all want to do. And then you have this happen, and you don't want to be responsible for who you were when you laid down. This is what you got. When you start relationships with men, when you already have children, you need to understand that you are bringing a new man into your children's life, and it's likely that he won't be in that life long. And you will probably have many men coming to your children's life. Because most of the time, relationships don't work out. And you already have a child, so you need to understand you can't dictate that.
Absolutely.
So, that's what you mean to tell me? Like, I'm not going for that. I'm going to stand on what I said, and I don't care what everybody else have to say about it. Y'all could judge me. Oh, well, I could be the villain, but I said what I said. Like, if you can't bring everybody McDonald's, then can't nobody have McDonald's then. Period.
Okay, well, she doesn't care what any of us say. She's going to stand on what she said, whether it's logical or not. And guess what? She's a human being and she has that right. Listen, y'all, it could end up in her losing custody of her child because the judge is going to see it their way. And this probably should go to custody court because she's not willing to hear it at all. And unfortunately, she could lose her child in this, okay? But you heard her. She doesn't care what any of us says. So if the judge don't teach her, time will have to teach her. And I'm going to tell you what, time is the worst teacher. Because when she looks up and see that her relationship between her and her son is being devastated, all because of her own actions, and the relationship with that son and that father is devastated because of her own actions, and she sees how that actually affects that child, listen, then she'll know the truth. And she did all of this over McDonald's. She's trying to protect the other 3 children, and that she feels noble. Noble cause. The other children are not getting something, you want to rally for them to get it. Noble cause. But in doing it, in her way of doing it, she's going to destroy her son, the child's father, the child of that father. You understand? And she don't care what none of us say. So she's not thinking about the ripples of her actions. You understand? So when it comes back to meet her and teach her a lesson, it's going to be too late. It's going to be way too late because it's going to be too late to correct the problem. She's already vowed to continue the problem. She doesn't care what anybody says. When people get like this, all you can do is say, all right. And honestly, that's all he can do. All right, I'll just go to court then. Obviously, talking with you, trying to debate with you reasonably is not going to get me the relationship with my son that I need. So I'm going to have to try and take him from you. Because I can't have my son be broken, yo. And all I'm trying to do is love my son. And you're trying to force me to take care of your other children in order to have access to my son. No, ma'am. That does not work like that. It absolutely does not work like that. And you are 100% wrong. But again, you don't care. It is what it is, family. What you got to say, babe?
As a woman, and I hate to even go down this road, but I kind of took the comment as to her and him still being intimate with each other with a grain of salt. Because we all saw the altercation. And when a woman is putting out and a man is not delivering, she will bring it up. She will say, and you're sleeping with me and you're just gonna take care of. That was never part of the conversation. And the whole dialogue, you can tell even from his energy that they're used to working like this. If he was used to sleeping with her, he probably would have tried to touch her, tried to sweet talk her. Come on, babe. You know, when you're engaged with someone like that, you tend to take a different course of action when you're dealing with that person. So this is her saying something after the fact in an entirely different video. And so I feel as though she was attacked so much that she needed to get a fighting stance in the situation. And the only thing that she can grasp was the fact that he's still emotionally being manipulative. He's still sleeping with me. He's still telling me he loves me. He's still in my face. And he wants to only take care of his kid. Now it puts the ball back in his court. And it makes him wrong. Exactly. So if you're actually still dipping and doing things with your baby's father, the whole conversation would have gone different. You know what I mean? She would have moved substantially different, in my opinion. Now, you ladies can leave that in the comment section as to what you think, but I honestly feel like the last time they had been intimate was a long time ago, and she's grasping at straws because she feels attacked. And I wanted to speak to that because, unfortunately, women are accustomed to, in a sense, lying just to avoid that accountability. Now, she could be telling the truth. We all know that once you have a baby together, breaking that tie and cutting that intimacy off is hard. So it's possible. but I don't believe it myself. And I think this was something, again, to hurt him and ruin his reputation of looking like the good guy. It's still supporting that same agenda. So I also want, the men to be mindful that when it comes to her personal embarrassment as a woman, when you don't have all the logic that you need to make a clear assessment, they will bury you with lies.
For sure will.
Just to not look like the silly person in the situation, the person that's emotional with no rationalization. A woman does not like to look like that. Looking stupid is high on the list as far as a woman not wanting to appear that way. And sometimes a lie will come from that to make things worse and, in a sense, make herself look like the victim in it all. So choosing your partner, it's such a big deal, and we're not taking it seriously. It is such a big deal, because if it doesn't work out, this is what you have. And unfortunately, you have a person that has a baby, breaks up, and gets with someone, and has a baby and breaks up and gets with someone. You should be tired of having kids. I don't know if you have 4 fathers, but you at least have 3 for this man to say, what about those kids, babies, daddies? It's at least 3. That's too many, love. It's too many. And you should feel some type of way about that. And you think it's his fault that you have to explain why your children don't have the same treatment. And it's because they have different fathers that came through you. But it's not the men's fault. But they should be cognizant of the fact that if they're attracted to a woman and she has multiple kids and multiple fathers already, why is that not a red flag? I don't understand that.
Well, it should be, and he's not using them, using those red flags. He is the last baby father. How many other baby fathers she already has? The last one he's the father of, so he knew she had 3 other children. He laid with her anyway. She's probably had that attitude, been carrying herself like that the entire time. And if he's still messing with her, that's not very wise either. So, bro, why are you messing with her still? If you are. Now, again, she's potentially lying, and hopefully you're not courting some other woman trying to get to know her, and her saying that is causing you problems right now. But you're not present when she's saying this, which is an indication that she's telling a lie, because she certainly didn't say that to you that day.
At all.
You understand? So it is what it is, man. It's crazy that both y'all still broke up, and if y'all still messing around, y'all still not being very wise in how y'all doing things. And I say that does actually give her a little bit of explanative power. If you are sleeping with her, it doesn't justify how she acted, and it doesn't make you responsible for taking care of her children either. But if you're still sleeping with her, you can see how she thinks you're supposed to be still doing other things.
Absolutely.
You understand? Because if you can come by and sleep with her, but you can't spend a couple extra dollars to buy her kids some food when you come by there, this is how she rationalizing it. It's coming out all wrong, probably because if you're doing this, you're adding fuel to the already huge fire. Because she's already a walking fire. You understand? So anything that adds to it, she's going to blow up. You understand? It's crazy. But be smarter, guys. He's already put his seed somewhere where he shouldn't have.
Absolutely.
And you have to learn from your mistakes, okay? So you shouldn't keep going back trying to remind yourself of why you left somebody alone. Make your decisions, kings. Don't be wavering in your decisions. That is not masculine. Get on about your business if you realize she is not going to cooperate. You understand? Ladies, same thing. If that man leaves you, stop letting that man back in here to keep sleeping with you. Stop being that. Be firm in your decisions.
Absolutely.
You lose value when you break up with a man and you keep letting him sleep with you. He will stop seeing you the same.
Absolutely.
Whether or not y'all still care about each other and trying to get through it or not, this man does not have any negotiation with you anymore, and you're still sleeping with him. This means he can come sleep with you and freely go out and talk to whoever you want to talk to. And you're allowing that. Why? You're lowering your value. You already had exclusivity with him. Y'all lost that, and you're still messing around. So you reduced your title. You went to a side piece, a side chick. What are you doing? Leave the man alone. Sit down somewhere. You may be a while before you date again. Of course, you're raising the child. I know you're probably thinking, yo, where I'm going to get mine from? I don't want to keep on sleeping around with these strange guys and potentially putting myself in these situations. Go be a mama. Go sit down somewhere.
Yes.
Life ain't all about sex.
Yes.
That's why you in the mess you in now. Go be a mama and sit down somewhere.
Absolutely.
It's wild. Take responsibility for your actions.
And you having a father in your children's life does not alleviate your part of responsibility. If you don't have enough food stamps, if you don't have enough money, boo, you're going to have to find some income. You're going to have to learn a hustle, a skill, a trade, go back to school. It is time for you to understand that the money that you're getting from the government is not enough for you to take care of your 4 children and yourself.
Somebody said she gets over $1,000 a month too. I don't know how much they know this lady, but that's a lot of money
Yes,
to not
it
be able to
is.
manage 4 children
Absolutely.
with. Like, that is crazy, man. You don't know how to daggone coupon pick, make some noodles last, make some spaghetti last.
Absolutely.
You don't know how to work this stuff out. You sitting here saying, you know I don't get my food stamps to the 7th. You know I don't get them. Like, man, you need to go to the courthouse. You need to talk to the government, ask them for more food stamps or something. But you putting pressure on the wrong person. Like the absolute wrong person.
And no shade, but I know the ladies see it. You got the fresh lashes, your eyebrows freshly arched. You got your lace front.
Got on extra
full
makeup.
unit wig on. You know what I mean? You look nice. You see what I'm saying? And that costs money. And if your kids aren't eating, but you look like that, we have a problem. Because mothers that are putting effort and their blood, sweat, and tears into their children, their kids are going to have everything they need while they walk around looking a hot mess. And they'll be totally fine with that because the priority is the children. And there are plenty of mothers that do it, wearing t-shirts and slides and sweats and a bunch of other stuff and just their hair in a ponytail to make sure their kids have everything they need. If you got fresh nails, love, fresh makeup.
She had fresh nails on the first video.
Yes.
And you saw her face, like I said, she actually has too much makeup on. She actually looks like a clown. I'm telling you now, when men see that and they see makeup on top of your skin, it's not faded correctly or anything like that, they see a clown, I'm telling you. They may not say, yo, you need to go do something with that, even that out or something, but they see some clown. It's hard for us to even talk to women when they didn't take the time to fix themselves up. And it's crazy because I always ask, are you focused more on outward appearance or inner development? Clearly, you can see what she's focused on. Outer appearance. Because all this is going on inside of her home. She's tortured. Obviously, she doesn't like this. Her children not getting this McDonald's. Her other baby father's not performing, likely. And hopefully, she ain't sleeping with the other baby fathers. But instead of doing all of this, you need to deal with what's in here.
Absolutely.
Because long term, this ain't doing nothing for your children.
Nothing
at all.
At all.
You can put on 2 layers, 3 layers, 2 wigs, 3 wigs. Your children don't get nothing from that. Oh, but that attitude, if you deal with that, you will be a great mother and you'll raise up strong, amazing children. But that mask you got on is not going to do it. I'm telling you right now. Be evolution. Be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos,
it is in that chaos that you have found yourself.
And you can never cross the ocean till you have the courage to leave the shore. Please have the courage to change your old ways so you can see a new life. Your children are depending on you to break those generational curses. Peace, family.
Peace.